Healthy food is a fundamental necessity for human survival. Poverty, conflicts, and natural disasters contribute significantly to food insecurity worldwide. Humanity First is actively addressing this challenge through its food security programs, reaching out to those in need across the globe. Join us on Humanity First Day, May 11, 2024, for our international telethon dedicated to raising vital funds for our global food security projects. Visit humanityfirst.org to engage directly with our teams worldwide or to make a donation. Your donation, no matter how small, can make a profound impact on someone's life. Your generous donations can make a difference in providing food for those who need it most. Please donate generously.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
Healthy food is a fundamental necessity for human survival. Poverty, conflicts, and natural disasters contribute significantly to food insecurity worldwide. Humanity First is actively addressing this challenge through its food security programs, reaching out to those in need across the globe. Join us on Humanity First Day, May 11, 2024, for our international telethon dedicated to raising vital funds for our global food security projects. Visit humanityfirst.org to engage directly with our teams worldwide or to make a donation. Your donation, no matter how small, can make a profound impact on someone's life. Your generous donations can make a difference in providing food for those who need it most. Please donate generously.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
Healthy food is a fundamental necessity for human survival. Poverty, conflicts, and natural disasters contribute significantly to food insecurity worldwide. Humanity First is actively addressing this challenge through its food security programs, reaching out to those in need across the globe. Join us on Humanity First Day, May 11, 2024, for our international telethon dedicated to raising vital funds for our global food security projects. Visit humanityfirst.org to engage directly with our teams worldwide or to make a donation. Your donation, no matter how small, can make a profound impact on someone's life. Your generous donations can make a difference in providing food for those who need it most. Please donate generously.
Some funds were raised entirely for the sake of helping the suffering humanity. I decided to spend that money on the poor people, and that is exactly what we are doing. Not only in one country, but in Ghana, in Nigeria, where are the people suffering. Moreover, we had means of helping people with human sacrifice, which coupled with the meager financial resources makes a sizable contribution. But without that human sacrifice, that small contribution financially would not mean anything. Now, our experience tells us that if we spend money ourselves for a good cause, the result is 10 times more satisfactory.
fikre khud se fikre duniya ke liye azad hain शाद करते हैं ज़माने भर को खुद नाशाद हैं.
Serve God's creation and show love towards them. This requires true selflessness and love for others. It requires that a person does not rest until he has solved the problems of others and takes the weight of their burdens onto his own shoulders. It requires that a person's heart is consumed by love for others, whereby he cares not for his own comfort, but rather he cares only for the comfort of others. It requires that a person is ever ready to personally absorb all forms of distress for the sake of others, to consider the pain of others as though it is his own pain. It requires that a person is ready to bear personal suffering or anxiety so that others can live in peace and contentment.
भी हैं तेरे बंदे ऐ खुदा, सच है कि कुछ ऐसे भी हैं.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us on Humanity First Day. It's Saturday, the 11th of May, 2024. In fact, through the day, earlier today, we've had teams active in Australasia, in parts of South Asia and the Middle East. And as we speak, there are teams active in different parts of Africa. And they're working on different types of projects to mark Humanity First Day. So obviously, unfortunately, with conflicts and with climate change, we're seeing many regions facing flooding. So our teams are responding in Kenya, in Uganda, in Tanzania, in Indonesia. We're responding to conflicts in the Middle East. But longer term, today, as with every day, we've got teams working on education and vocational training. We've got teams working on water projects. We've got teams helping orphans and providing them with access to education, healthcare, clothing and shelter. We've got teams working on various healthcare interventions, whether it's surgery or outreach clinics or running our hospitals. And so with the growing need across the world, we're going to show you some of these projects through today. And we're going to show you on the ground the teams that are actually working there. Globally, if you look at the impact, thank God, of the work that we've been doing, we've invested in 3 orphanages now. We've invested in 11 hospitals and clinics. We've invested in 2 mobile surgery units, 91 schools. Majority of them are primary schools, but we now have some very accomplished secondary schools, and we're going to be showing you at least one of those later today. 54 vocational training centres, everything from IT and engineering trades all the way through to languages and hairdressing. 9 food banks. We've also worked on 5,616 remote water installations. So the scale of the work, thank God, has been growing year on year. And with your generous support, we've been able to help almost 15 million people around the world since we launched Humanity First in 1995. So sit back, join us on a journey around the globe. And if you feel inspired today, please come forward to volunteer your time and donate to the cause. Become our active advocate. Spread the word about Humanity First to your friends, to your colleagues, to your family members, and be an active part of Humanity First Day.
Humanity First has attained a good name, whereby many external organizations recognize that Humanity First is achieving much more from a far smaller budget in comparison to much bigger charities or NGOs, due to its volunteer force and the spirit with which its members serve. Certainly, I am pleased that the workers and volunteers of Humanity First throughout the world are serving with great zeal and determination and a true spirit of service and devotion. It is my prayer that this spirit never diminishes, but only ever increases. I also wish to reiterate that you must never entertain even a trace of arrogance in your hearts to think that you have done great work or that you have done a favor to those who benefit from the various Humanity First projects. Rather, at all times, absolute humility and gratitude to Allah the Almighty should course through your veins. Focus always and forever on attaining the pleasure of God Almighty, and keep in mind that serving others is our religious obligation, and that without fulfilling the rights of mankind, we cannot fulfill the rights of God Almighty. At the end, I also wish to offer my heartfelt congratulations and thanks to the volunteers and team members of Humanity First, because during its first quarter century, they have served in an exemplary way with great sincerity and loyalty to the cause of serving humanity. The passion of its volunteers has enabled Humanity First to live up to its name and to become a well-established and renowned charity and disaster relief agency. Alhamdulillah, each year the scope of work of Humanity First has continued to expand, and I pray that this always remains the case. May its members and volunteers be those who stand ever ready to wipe away the tears of those who are in distress or hurting in any way. May you always be ready to help those blameless souls who are the victims of their circumstances to overcome their grief, desperation, and heartache. May you always stand up for the rights of the weak, deprived, and vulnerable. May Allah enable all of you to play your role in serving the cause of humanity and helping those tormented by abject poverty and deprivation to stand upon their own 2 feet. May Allah the Almighty bless the efforts of Humanity First, and may it never take a backward step. Rather, I pray it always marches forward in its efforts to humanity. Ameen. Jazakallah.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
So now we're going to go to Dr. Mahmood Qureshi, who is our International Disaster Response Director. He's based in the USA. He's going to describe the work that we're doing in various settings around the world, in some cases still responding to earthquakes from last year and conflicts from last year, but there are many, many smaller emergencies that we are responding to. So let's listen to Mahmood.
Hi, my name is Dr. Mahmood Qureshi. I am the Director for Disaster Relief for Humanity First International. The world is facing growing challenges with natural disasters, increasing in intensity, and rising conflicts. Over the last 2 years, Humanity First has been responding to the conflicts in Gaza, Ukraine, Turkey, Morocco, as well as the islands of Hawaii. As we have grown over the years, we have become more professional in our approach as recognized by United Nations. We work with many partners on the ground, including Red Cross and Red Crescent, UNICEF, World Health Organization, ANERA, Save the Children, Oxfam, and many others. And as I'm talking to you, we are still actively responding to the conflict in Gaza, helping the victims with food, water, and other help, including shelter. Last year, we responded to the earthquakes in Morocco and Turkey. We are exploring and helping the refugees from the crisis in Sudan who are displaced to the country of Chad. And we're also exploring options for helping refugees in Sudan itself. We have been responding to extreme droughts and floodings in part of South Asia, Eastern and Southern Africa. 3 months ago, we were responding to the earthquake in Western Japan. So at any one time, we might be currently working in 10 countries, but we ensure that our teams serve with humility and care. We have a common global approach to working in emergencies that all of our international teams adhere to. We are there to wipe away the tears and to provide hope for a better future. We will be there to help rebuild their homes and their lives. Thank you very much to all of our volunteers for Humanity First globally.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
Anira is absolutely thrilled with this new partnership with Humanity First UK. It couldn't have come at a more critical moment. Very grateful for the outreach of Dr. Hafiz and the whole team. We're working on a desalination unit that turns brackish, unsafe water into clean, pure drinking water. As many people know, over 90% of the water in Gaza is unsafe for drinking. Anira does a lot of work on water networks, on water reservoirs, on lines to provide safe domestic use. But the desalination plants that we're doing with Humanity First actually provides pure drinking water. It can be used even in hospitals and for dialysis machines and clinics and for community use. So it's a wonderful project. And we're also with Humanity First working on rooftop greenhouse gardens. And these allow families, extended families, large families to produce fruits and vegetables enough for their whole family, and sometimes even to be able to sell some back into the market. Yeah, when we were just there a few days after the bombing stopped, we visited some of these projects, the desalination plants. Great appreciation from the institutions, from the communities, and the greenhouse rooftop gardens. We visited one family. They got dressed up for our arrival, 3 beautiful young girls, and very proud of the garden. And when I visit Anira projects, I'm not taken around by Anira staff. I'm taken around by the real owners of the projects, in this case a family, showing off very proudly their rooftop garden. And I have to say the produce was spectacular. The size and the beauty and the color, and they were very proud, and they've learned how to do it. We've innovated some techniques so that it's done with very little water. There's a 90 to 90% reduction in the water use and need. And they're producing fantastic produce. So these are very impactful projects working on the ground directly with families. Well, it's difficult environment to work in. There are electricity shortages, there are water shortages. Bombing obviously is both physically damaging and incredibly traumatic. One of Anira's staff people lost his apartment and all of his belongings from a bomb that wasn't directed at his apartment but went through his apartment. So we're paying close attention to mental health issues and doing everything we can. But there needs to be more aid, both on a government level and from individuals and families and institutions. So we're greatly appreciative of the assistance from Humanity First and all of its supporters. Shukran Aktir, thank you so much for all of your support. We look forward to working together. We're going to do some wonderful, impactful things together, and we can keep doing more. So thank you, and let's keep working together.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve. Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
So you've just been watching the efforts to take water to displaced families in Gaza, families who've suffered for months and been moved from one location to another. And thankfully, we're able to take water tankers in and make a difference to people in temporary accommodation. Now let's turn our attention to the Kurbani campaign. So every day and every evening, around 800 million people around the world are going to bed hungry. Children are being put to sleep before they've had a chance to have a meal. Many rural communities subsist on basic food items, vegetables and basic staples. They rarely get to eat meat or more advanced food. So at the time of Eid al-Azha, in the middle of next month, in the middle of June, Humanity First will be making sacrifices in over 60 countries, across South America, across Europe, across Africa, across the Middle East, in Asia, and even in Australasia and some of the Pacific islands. And this will provide meat packs to rural and low-income families across the world who would not normally expect to have access to meat. If we look at last year, we were able to reach 829,089 people, and that was in 2,075 rural villages, not the big cities, but rural villages across 64 countries. Now you can donate towards a whole goat. You can donate an entire cow. Or as per tradition, you can share and donate 1/7 of a cow. For each branch, they will tell you what the pricing is at the moment. But we do need to purchase the livestock towards the end of this month, towards the end of May, because as we get closer to Eid, the prices will escalate. So please, if I could request you to make your donation through your local Humanity First branch as soon as you can, to allow us to get the maximum number of animals and to reach the maximum number of people in the middle of next month. The level of homelessness in Australia has been rising, and what you're about to see is the response of Humanity First, providing support to the homeless people in various cities across Australia.
सारे आलम में तुम खिदमत खल्क के काम करते रहो काम आते रहो.
Humanity First Australia has been established for over 25 years and from the grace of Allah has been helping the nation's people who experience hardship. Humanity First Australia has participated in many activities in the years of 2022 and 2023, from helping the country of Australia and also other nations such as Pakistan, Indonesia, Solomon Islands, Malaysia and Turkey.
Be our signs.
The New South Wales Humanity First team participated and took initiative in many activities in helping people during desperate times. Last year, regions of New South Wales suffered from major flooding, which left people with no shelter, clothes or even food. Humanity First took the initiative to help these people by delivering essential needs.
Problems we face are not limited to new residents either. In April last year, the third major flooding event in under 2 years inundated houses in West Riverston. I was part of a recovery effort led by the Business Chamber and the Neighbourhood Centre. to help the people who are again forced to rebuild after floodwaters destroyed their lives. I worked alongside local community members hosing out the homes of families whose lives were devastated. I cleaned out houses and delivered food with Humanity First and the Ahmadiyya community who rallied to help wherever they could.
Our joy is to restore the lives of all that we can reach.
Humanity First was also recognised and appreciated by many other honourable members of Parliament, such as Honourable Chris Minns, Premier of New South Wales, and Honourable Prue Carr, Deputy Premier of New South Wales.
Stand on their own. Keep restoring these broken houses, like each one is your home.
South Australia Humanity First team dedicated itself to food relief for the homeless every week, collaborating with local shelters and community centres, connecting individuals with vital services like nutritional advice through a health talk. Through their efforts, they created a sense of community and empowered the homeless to regain stability. By addressing the underlying causes of homelessness, they strive to build a brighter future for those in need, one meal at a time.
As floods overwhelm and starvation closes in, and parched mouths question.
South Australia was also recognised by the Mayor of Onkaparinga and received recognition for outstanding humanitarian efforts, which was presented by the Council. Queensland Humanity First has also taken part in distributing food to the homeless across the state.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
Whilst you are watching the Humanity First international feed for our global telethon, many of our branches are doing their own segments for Humanity First Day to Day. Earlier today, Indonesia did their session in the Indonesian language from their studio in Jakarta. As we speak, our Nigeria team should be starting now in West Africa. In Europe, our United Kingdom team in London plan to start at 1600 GMT, and Germany will be doing a German feed from Frankfurt at the same time, at 1600 GMT. An hour later, Belgium will be on air with their feed in French. Finally, later today, Canada will start from their Toronto studios in North America from 1800 to 2200 GMT.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
Healthy food is a fundamental necessity for human survival. Poverty, conflicts, and natural disasters contribute significantly to food insecurity worldwide. Humanity First is actively addressing this challenge through its food security programs, reaching out to those in need across the globe. Join us on Humanity First Day, May 11, 2024, for our international telethon dedicated to raising vital funds for our global food security projects. Visit humanityfirst.org to engage directly with our teams worldwide or to make a donation. Your donation, no matter how small, can make a profound impact on someone's life. Your generous donations can make a difference in providing food for those who need it most. Please donate generously.
मेरा आपसे सवाल है कि अगर एक वक्फे नो की फील्ड नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी हो तो वो अपनी स्टडीज़ कंप्लीट करने के बाद किस तरह से जमात की खिदमत कर सकती है?
देखो जी, नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी तो एक इल्म है ना, और नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी जो है वो आजकल मेडिसिन में भी इस्तेमाल हो रही है और भी बहुत सारे शोबों में इस्तेमाल हो रही है, रिसर्च में इसमें हो रहा है काम, ठीक है ना। नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी यही है ना, एक छोटे से माइन्यूटेस्ट पार्टिकल के ऊपर तुम बहुत सारे काम ले सकते हो, जिस तरह तुम कंप्यूटर में छोटी सी चीज़ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें डाल लेते हो। जमात का एक मकसद इंसानियत की खिदमत है ना
जी।
बस फिर तो जब इसका फ़ायदा ये होगा कि इससे इंसानियत की खिदमत होती है। एक डॉक्टर बनता है वक्फे नो है, उसको कह दिया जाता है कि तुम डॉक्टर बन जाओ और अभी जमात का अस्पताल में जगह नहीं, तो गवर्नमेंट के अस्पताल में काम करो, तो उसका जमात को क्या फ़ायदा होता है? इंसानियत को फ़ायदा होता है ना। ह्यूमैनिटी फ़र्स्ट का जो काम है वो जमात का एक ऑक्सिलरी किस्म का ही इदारा है ना, वो दुनिया में काम कर रहा है, उसको जमात को बराह रास्त तो कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है ना, इनडायरेक्ट फ़ायदा हो रहा है। जमात का तारुफ होता है, जमात का जो खिदमत का अल्लाह ताला ने जो काम दिया हुआ है इंसानियत की खिदमत का, एक हकीकी मुसलमान को वो इंसानियत की खिदमत कर रहे होते हैं। इसी तरह कोई भी काम जिससे इंसानियत को फ़ायदा हो उसको यही समझें कि वो अल्लाह ताला का हुक्म है और जमात ने वो काम करना है, डायरेक्ट फ़ायदा हो या ना हो। सिर्फ अपनी जेब नहीं भरनी, हमने लोगों को फ़ायदा पहुंचाना है, मखलूक की खिदमत करना, ये इंसानियत का काम है। हम नारा लगाते हैं कि मसीह अलैहिस्सलाम आए, दो काम थे उनके, एक ये कि बंदे को खुदा ताला से मिलाना और एक बंदे को बंदे के हक़ अदा करने वाला बनाना। अब ये तो नहीं लिखा हुआ कि बंदा सिर्फ अहमदी मुसलमान का हक़ अदा करेगा या फिर उसके बाद फिर मुसलमान का हक़ अदा करेगा और हिंदू का नहीं करेगा और ईसाई का नहीं करेगा और यहूदी का नहीं करेगा और बुद्धिस्ट का नहीं करेगा या ला मज़हब का नहीं करेगा। हर एक इंसान की खिदमत करना काम है और यही जमात का काम है और यही जमात का फ़ायदा है। इसी से तारुफ़ होता है। फिर लोग पूछते हैं कि अच्छा भाई तुम क्यों खिदमत कर रहे हो, बताओ भाई हमारा मज़हब ये कहता है। और जब इनडायरेक्टली अब मज़हब की बात होती है फिर उनको तवज्जो पैदा होती है मज़हब पे, और फिर इस तरह इनडायरेक्टली तबलीग के रास्ते खुलते हैं। तो जमात को फ़ायदा, अल्टीमेटली जमात को फ़ायदा होता है, लेकिन अगर बराह रास्त ना भी फ़ायदा हो तो इंसानियत की खिदमत का जो जज्बा है वो अल्लाह ताला का हुक्म है कि इंसानों की खिदमत करो, वो हमने करना है अल्लाह ताला को राज़ी करने के लिए।
So thank you for following us on Humanity First Day. The next segment is our medical team who have been going out for over 11 years from the UK to Gambia regularly to do clinical training. The most recent trip was for pediatric and neonatal training led by Dr. Hamad Khan, which went towards the end of April. Let's listen to how that visit went.
On the 21st of April 2024, Humanity First UK sent another successful medical mission to the Gambia. The team consisted of 14 members, including doctors, nurses, students, and administrative staff. They were able to conduct significant needs assessment and provide ongoing training and logistical support to colleagues in the Gambia. The team were able to treat children with surgical conditions and performed 20 surgical procedures successfully. The team were also able to teach many specialist staff in the area of children's medicine.
My name is Dr. Hamad Khan. I'm a consultant in newborn care, and I've been volunteering with Humanity First for the last very many years and have been privileged to be able to come to the Gambia over the last 6 years to help colleagues here to be able to provide better care for the babies that they look after here at Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. The circumstances in which they provide the care are really incredible. My colleagues here, Gambian colleagues, doctors and nurses, have to work in incredible circumstances. They are overworked. The number of patients that they have to look after is huge. They're really constrained in terms of the resources that they have available to them. And yet, despite all of that, they do an incredible job. They keep working day in and day out to provide care for the patients here, which is absolutely amazing. Our teams are able to come here to support doctors and nurses here in the Gambia to provide the care that they do. We support them with training, we support them with materials and resources, and most importantly, we're here to empower our colleagues, our Gambian colleagues, to become the future leaders of the medical community here in the Gambia, and to be the ones who can really make a difference and have an impact in terms of providing better care for all of the children that need it here in the Gambia. I think it's really important that we do this work because advocating for children, giving voice to the voiceless is incredibly important. They are the most vulnerable in society. They have very few to advocate for them, and we need to do that. It is our responsibility.
My name is Ian Yardley. I'm a consultant paediatric and neonatal surgeon. I work at the Evelina London Children's Hospital, and I've been coming to the Gambia with Humanity First for 5 years now. This is my 6th trip out here over those years. And we do a variety of things over here, working with our local colleagues, particularly Churno Jallo, who is a Gambian surgeon who works here. And we've helped him to develop and strengthen the paediatric surgical service over here over those years. One thing we do particularly is we work with children who've had caustic injuries of their esophagus, which prevents them from swallowing, and so we're working with them to give them feeding tubes and to dilate their esophagus and help them to feed by mouth. And that's really improved the care that Churno is able to provide locally. Sometimes we'll come and do more major cases with Churno. Sometimes we'll just come and provide some service, take the pressure off him as a solo practitioner over here, and give him some time to focus on developing the services around. If you'd like to join us and you're a healthcare professional, then you can volunteer through Humanity First UK. If you're not a clinician but would like to support us, then you can donate through Humanity First UK. Thank you.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
Whilst you are watching the Humanity First international feed for our global telethon, many of our branches are doing their own segments for Humanity First Day today. Earlier today, Indonesia did their session in the Indonesian language from their studio in Jakarta. As we speak, our Nigeria team should be starting now in West Africa. In Europe, our United Kingdom team in London plan to start at 1600 GMT, and Germany will be doing a German feed from Frankfurt at the same time, at 1600 GMT. An hour later, Belgium will be on air with their feed in French. Finally, later today, Canada will start from their Toronto studios in North America from 1800 to 2200 GMT.
So you've been watching the various activities through the telethon, and please continue to follow us on social media. Our international handle is HFI1995, but also follow your local branches. Please donate to your local branch or to Humanity First International if you are not aligned to one of the main branches. Our website is www.humanityfirst.org. If you can donate through a local branch, then you can either do a one-off donation today, or you can make a pledge for what you could donate over the next 3 to 6 months, or better still, you could commit to doing a recurring donation, like a standing order, and every month you could donate $5, $10, whatever is acceptable.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
Humanity First has attained a good name, whereby many external organizations recognize that Humanity First is achieving much more from a far smaller budget in comparison to much bigger charities or NGOs, due to its volunteer force and the spirit with which its members serve. Certainly, I am pleased that the workers and volunteers of Humanity First throughout the world are serving with great zeal and determination and a true spirit of service and devotion. It is my prayer that this spirit never diminishes, but only ever increases. I also wish to reiterate that you must never entertain even a trace of arrogance in your hearts to think that you have done great work or that you have done a favor to those who benefit from the various Humanity First projects. Rather, at all times, absolute humility and gratitude to Allah the Almighty should course through your veins. Focus always and forever on attaining the pleasure of God Almighty. and keep in mind that serving others is our religious obligation, and that without fulfilling the rights of mankind, we cannot fulfill the rights of God Almighty. At the end, I also wish to offer my heartfelt congratulations and thanks to the volunteers and team members of Humanity First, because during its first quarter century, they have served in an exemplary way with great sincerity and loyalty to the cause of serving humanity. The passion of its volunteers has enabled Humanity First to live up to its name and to become a well-established and renowned charity and disaster relief agency. Alhamdulillah, each year the scope of work of Humanity First has continued to expand, and I pray that this always remains the case. May its members and volunteers be those who stand ever ready to wipe away the tears of those who are in distress or hurting in any way. May you always be ready to help those blameless souls who are the victims of their circumstances to overcome their grief, desperation, and heartache. May you always stand up for the rights of the weak, deprived, and vulnerable. May Allah enable all of you to play your role in serving the cause of humanity and helping those tormented by abject poverty and deprivation to stand upon their own 2 feet. May Allah the Almighty bless the efforts of Humanity First, and may it never take a backward step. Rather, I pray it always marches forward in its efforts to humanity. Ameen. Jazakallah.
In India, they face harsh weather conditions around the monsoon. So around this time of year, there is growing drought, especially in the southwest part of the country. And so in recent years, and right now, we are taking water tankers to remote colonies across that part of India. Watch our team at work now in India.
Over the last 2 months, hot temperatures and drought conditions in parts of India have made life very hard for rural colonies. Humanity First has been arranging tankers of clean drinking water every day to provide around 9,000 litres a day to remote communities in the southwest of India. Villagers bring their buckets and containers, fill up with water, and then carry them back to their homes. This has been an essential lifeline. Through late March and April, we delivered over 300,000 litres of water for villages.
So you've just seen how our team are responding to a drought situation in India. Now let's go to East Africa, where we're seeing the opposite. They've just come off the back of 2 years of drought, and now they're suffering extreme rainfall and flooding and landslides. And you'll see how our teams are responding in Tanzania, in Kenya, and in Uganda, and possibly growing that into Burundi and other countries.
After a couple of years of drought, much of Eastern Africa is now facing flooding, made worse by the effect of El Niño. There have been continuous heavy rains for months, leading to floods, burst dams and landslides. Even major cities such as Nairobi and Dar es Salaam are seeing flooding not just in slums, but in central built-up areas where people have been knee-deep in water. Growing numbers of people have been, and in some cases, displaced from home. In Kenya, 150,000 people are displaced. In Burundi, 237,000 have been impacted, and in Tanzania, 200,000 have been affected. Humanity First has been assessing needs on the ground. In southeast Tanzania, 13 of our volunteers have already taken over 1.5 tons of emergency food aid and been distributing it to dozens of affected families in the Rufiji area in Kibiti and Ikiwiri. Each pack consists of non-perishable food items such as flour, beans, and sugar. The relief efforts are ongoing. We have also been supporting flood victims in Kenya and Uganda. We are also looking to assist the many farmers whose crops and livelihoods have been damaged.
In the heart of Mathare slums, the capital city of Kenya, Nairobi, a community has been left devastated in the aftermath of the severe flooding. Homes have been destroyed, livelihoods washed away, and families left hopeless. The once bustling streets are now submerged in water, as families try to salvage what little they have left. With your donation, Humanity First Kenya has been able to support over 300 households, totaling to almost 2,000 people. With your help, we managed to provide food to the affected people of Mathare. The packages included rice, cooking oil, beans, sugar, and many more.
What I can say is thank you. May you all be blessed for the mercy you have shown us. After noticing the suffering that we are experiencing, we were suffering and experiencing hardship, sleeping hungry, staying hungry with our kids, wondering where we were going to get food. We are happy that you have remembered us. Floods have certainly affected us. Our houses by the river have been swept away by water. Some of us drowned and got carried away by water too. We are still living in anxiety of what could become of us from the floods. We are really thankful. Be blessed.
Tunaogopa, tunakesha tukifikiria tena itakuja kutubeba vile inaendelea vile ilibeba wengine. Hakika tumeshukuru sana, mbarikiwe.
Despite the circumstances, the team of volunteers in Kenya ensured that the project of Humanity First is success, and hence, no matter the conditions of the weather, the project became a success. We also prepared cooked food for those who were completely displaced and left homeless. The food was distributed to them so that at least they could have something to put in their stomach. We thank you for your donation and support. Please continue to enable Humanity First to make a difference and help us change lives.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
In Guatemala, for over a decade, we had been sending medical teams to do outreach clinics in various parts of the country and saw the need for basic services like maternity, like ophthalmology, and so on. And so a few years ago, we started to build the Nace Hospital in Secatepeques, which is on the outskirts of Guatemala City. That hospital went live in October 2018, and Beloved Hazur went to inaugurate the hospital. Since then, every year, thousands of patients are being treated, and we're also doing surgery. In fact, a year ago, we did our first transplant operation in the hospital. In that time, we have been providing high quality care and attracting private patients, some of whom are even coming in by helicopter from other parts of Guatemala. Through that income, we've been able to subsidize over 8,000 patients, either partially or fully, to access care where ordinarily they wouldn't have been able to afford it. And almost universally, the feedback we're getting on the quality of the care provided and the quality of our medical team, which is almost 100 strong, all local Guatemalans, is very, very positive. We're now in the process of expanding the hospital, and we're going to more than double the capacity and add additional imaging and other services for patients. That process is underway. The groundbreaking was done a couple of months ago, and the USA is supporting Guatemala to extend the Nace Hospital. In a similar way, we have been building a new hospital in Yopougon-Jesco, which is just outside the city of Abidjan in Ivory Coast. Again, there, the actual need was for basic services like maternity and pediatric care for very low-income families in slum areas of Abidjan, such as Abobo. But in order to sustain the hospital, we are building the new facility, the Masrour Center for Healthcare, in Yopougon-Jesco, on the outskirts of Abidjan. It's on the main highway that heads out of there towards Yamoussoukro and Bouaké. And the location is on top of a hill, so you can get a great view of the highway and of Yopougon. And we are putting in good quality facilities and equipment which will attract private patients. And in the same model as in Guatemala, we then plan to use the income that we generate from private patients to subsidize those patients from slum areas or low-income backgrounds in Abidjan and also Greater Abidjan. I mean, since we started building the hospital, Abidjan is now extending out past Yopougon to the catchment area around our hospital. So we have a greater footprint that we can attract. That hospital is 2/3 of the way through completion. The grey structure is done. A lot of the internal furniture and fit out has been done. We need funds urgently. We need over $1 million now to complete the medical gas and other basic infrastructure, and then to do the medical equipment purchasing and installation, such that we can commission and go live with the hospital, God willing, next year. So whilst we've been showing you what we're doing in Gaza and the emergency response to floods in East Africa, it's also worth recapping the work that we've done over the last 2 or 3 years in major disasters. So we're going to show you a summary of what we've been doing on the Ukraine-Poland border since the conflict began in Ukraine. And we're also going to show you a summary of the work that we've been doing in southeastern Turkey in the Osmania and Hatay provinces since the earthquake last year.
Wir befinden uns hier in der Stadt Şemşel, und zwar in der ehemaligen Gelände von der Supermarkt Tesco. Hier hat sich die polnische Regierung einen Stützpunkt aufgebaut, wo die Flüchtlinge aufgefangen werden. Die werden direkt von den Grenzen hierhin gebracht und werden von hier aus mit den Bussen zu unterschiedlichen Orten in Europa verteilt. Zudem gibt es auch hier eine Möglichkeit, die Halle, die Sie da hinten sehen, da drin ist eine riesengroße Koordination aufgebaut worden und ist bestens organisiert. Das ist koordiniert wird das Ganze von der polnischen Regierung innen drin. Da befindet sich Einkaufsmöglichkeiten. Natürlich muss man für nichts einkaufen. Es ist da auch Kindergarten, medizinische Hilfe, Essen, Trinken, sanitäre Anlagen, sogar Schlafplätze gibt mittlerweile auch verteilt. Getrennt für Männer und Frauen, auch wenn man es möchte. Also da ist eine sehr gute Versorgung von der polnischen Regierung hergestellt worden. Und das, was Sie hier sehen, das ist da an mehreren Plätzen, insgesamt sind es 7 unterschiedliche Grenzgänge, wo solche Großplätze, so einen Auffanglager für die Flüchtlinge erstellt worden sind. Okay.
Hello, my name is Dr. Bajwa and I'm serving here for Humanity First at the border of Ukraine and Poland in Medyka. And we are giving here acute treatment in medical conditions for the refugees who are coming in a huge number from Ukraine to Poland. And they have the whole range from light to severe conditions of medical diseases, constipation, flu, but also severe diseases. We had also reanimation, acute coronary syndromes, many bruises, cuts, we sutured them, and also dehydrations. The patients or the people, refugees, are very exhausted after doing such a long journey from their hometowns to the border. We have rotating teams. Now we have 2 doctors here, I myself and my colleague, and we have rotating shifts in the night. And even we are also serving for other humanitarian organizations like our friends from Israel. They're asking, I'm going in this night, I'm also treating their patients because the infrastructure, the drugs are here also in the other humanitarian organizations, but they are lacking the expertise of medical doctors.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
After the 2 big earthquakes in Turkey, the whole country initially went into a state of shock. Earthquakes of such magnitude have not been seen in Turkey in the last century. The first earthquake had a magnitude of 7.7 and the second of 7.6, and this earthquake affected 11 regions of the country. Meanwhile, the death toll is already over 40,000 after 15 days. The Jamaat immediately started its work in cooperation with Humanity First. After the first teams of Humanity First arrived, they tried to offer first aid together with the local communities and the local administration. Medical care was offered in 2 tent cities located in the provinces Hatay and Osmaniye. Since then, doctors from abroad have been coming to Turkey to offer their help. In addition, the Jamaat has taken care of the Ahmadi brothers and sisters from day one. About 300 Ahmadis have been affected. Many of them have lost their houses. Either they have collapsed or they are no longer habitable due to the considerable damage. For this reason, many Ahmadis from this region, Iskenderun, were bused to other towns, and families were accommodated in 3 namaz centers of the Jamaat Turkey. About 70 to 80 people were evacuated. Other people who did not want to leave their region but still needed protection were provided with tents on request. Thus, 20 families were given large tents. They were also provided with food and clothing to protect them from the cold.
Assalamu alaikum, Hibi Iqbal. So we are here at the Zafar camp. It's located at the top of the mountain. The majority of the people here, as you can see, are Syrians. They have their camp set up, and it's growing in numbers by the day. Inshallah, alhamdulillah, we've had the opportunity to be here for the last week, serving this group, and we've built some great relationships. The process pretty much is, there's a helper from the Syrian side who is sort of telling us how many. Each person has a card that indicates how many meals that they need for their tent, and based on that card, we distribute the food. Today we're serving a butter chicken, which is sort of a shorba that they call it, and we have some rice and behind me, and then we also have bread on a daily basis. So these are the typical evening meals. We have a couple of dishes, and then bread is a must in every meal. As you can see, there's a card here, the number 6. So this family brought their pot with them. We fill up their pot for enough for 6 individuals. So it sort of varies by family. Once they've gotten their pot, they go and get the rest of their meal. So alhamdulillah, it's been a great experience. We've built some great relationships with some of these people despite the language barriers. They've been very friendly and very welcoming to us, and very grateful for for us being here. And alhamdulillah, it's been a great experience for us, rewarding at the same time as something that we just express our gratitude to Allah Ta'ala that we are so fortunate. And these people, despite the challenges that they're facing, they're still so positive, smiling, laughing, and joking with us. So it's a great a great experience. Very difficult to difficult to leave. We're leaving tomorrow, and it's going to be a very sad occasion in the sense that we're leaving this family away from in Turkey that we've built. خلاص تمام نسيان وبلشت عباية جزاك الله.
Tell us about breakfast serving, please.
Yeah, breakfast we start at around 8 a.m. We head over to the camp. Our breakfast consists of boiled eggs. It has bread, butter, jam, Nutella, as well as the toast, and olives, as well as cheese. We have we serve this on a daily basis. We have seen the numbers grow rapidly since I've been here for a week. 3? Okay. And every day this campsite has grown. Every time we've come here, they've put up more tents. We used to have this whole space to ourselves. It's gotten a little bit tight because they've put so many more tents behind us, and I think they're going to probably have this area where we are now covered pretty soon with a tent. So we're going to have to find another potential location. But as far as numbers go, in the morning we're probably doing close to 500 to 600 breakfast meals here, and in the evening, depending on the day, we're doing similar numbers, maybe a little bit more plus minus, depending on the day. So that's how it's been, and it's been growing. As the camp has grown, people come one at a time with the families bring one representative, and they pick up the food for mostly 8, 9, 10 people, sometimes even more. So it's the numbers are sometimes hard to keep track of. It's just based on who we see, but we're packing a lot of meals, or we're distributing a lot of meals that go back and are fed to the families that are home.
So this is chorba, and what is this? Is this rice?
This is a rice. This is called burzug. Burzug? This is burzug, right? Borgul. Borgul. It's a typical Turkish dish. Hassan is serving that for now. He's serving that. It's a Turkish dish. It's a mix of different types of wheats and barley and rice. It's very delicious, actually. And the first time I've had it, but you know, these people here really enjoy it, and it's something that, you know, was a hit yesterday when we had it first time, and we had it again today. Ashra. Ashra. And in the whole process, we're learning Arabic and Turkish numbers, which is a good, good bonus for us. Alhamdulillah. There's a lot of kids that come and also, you know, take meals for their family. So you can see these young children that are carrying hot plates and, you know, so responsible that, you know, I haven't seen any one of them drop it or spill anything. So it just shows, you know, how these young kids have grown with this disaster and have grown up so fast. Romania.
The shocks that have been facing the world over the last couple of decades, financial crises and then conflicts and so on, ordinary families, working families are being badly affected, even in Europe and North America. And so we've seen a rise for demand for food banks. And whilst our first food bank was in Canada, they've been growing now across Europe and in North America, and we even have soup kitchens in Africa. So the next segment is going to talk about the way the food bank movement has grown in Humanity First, where they are, and the type of services that we are providing.
Over the last decade, the world has faced many shocks: financial crises, pandemics, climate change, natural disasters, and conflicts. As a result, the prices of basic food items have skyrocketed, and many items have become scarce. Families and vulnerable people are struggling to survive, even in cities in relatively wealthy countries. Humanity First has been expanding its network of food banks to provide rations packs that last between a week or even a month. This includes non-perishable and perishable food items, water, and sometimes clothing and hygiene kits. Our first food bank was in Toronto in Canada. Since then, we have facilities in Atlanta in the USA and further south in Mexico. Every weekend we provide hot meals in Mexico City and Santiago de Querétaro. In South Africa, we run a soup kitchen in Cape Town. Across Europe, we now run facilities in Gothenburg in Sweden, Athens in Greece, Tbilisi in Georgia, and in the UK we have 2 food banks in Walsall and Mirfield. The feedback is amazing. We could not run these without our amazing volunteers and the local retailers who regularly donate food and other items for us to distribute to those in urgent need.
So you've been watching the various activities through the telethon, and please continue to follow us on social media. Our international handle is HFI1995, but also follow your local branches. Please donate to your local branch or to Humanity First International if you are not aligned to one of the main branches. Our website is www.humanityfirst.org. If you can donate through a local branch, then you can either do a one-off donation today, or you can make a pledge for what you could donate over the next 3 to 6 months, or better still, you could commit to doing a recurring donation, like a standing order, and every month You could donate $5, $10, whatever is acceptable. In Nigeria, our team are supported by Canada, and they've been very active in healthcare, both in general healthcare and cataract surgery. They've been doing schools projects, water, and many other interventions. So now let's go and see what our Nigeria team have been up to in recent months.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
सारे आलम में तुम खिदमत खल्क के काम करते रहो, काम आते रहो.
We must never tire, though our mission is to serve all.
In 2023, Humanity First Nigeria embarked on a multitude of impactful initiatives under its various programs, showcasing a commitment to humanitarian endeavors and community empowerment. Here are the notable achievements with a special emphasis on food security. Addressing food security, the organization implemented programs to improve food access and nutrition, promoting agricultural practices and food distribution initiatives to alleviate hunger in vulnerable communities. Humanity First Nigeria made significant strides in fundraising and marketing efforts, mobilizing resources and raising awareness to support its humanitarian missions. During the year under review, Humanity First Nigeria fundraising team was able to raise 4,492,877 naira, representing an increase of over 250% over 2022. The organization continued its efforts to improve healthcare access and outcomes through its global health program, conducting medical camps and health education campaigns to promote well-being in communities across Nigeria. In 2023, Humanity First Nigeria, with the support from Humanity First Canada and Humanity First International, conducted 3 medical camps treating over 10,000 patients. It also provided subsidized medical treatment to over 100 patients in Okoko Clinic. Humanity First Nigeria facilitated the donation of over 10,000 pieces of clothing to over 3,000 families through its Clothes Bank program, providing essential clothing items to individuals and families in need. Through the Gift of Sight program, Humanity First Nigeria conducted vision screening and provided eye care services, restoring vision and improving the quality of life for beneficiaries. Over 200 cataract operations were performed in 2023. Education remained a priority with the Knowledge for Life program, as Humanity First Nigeria continues to fund 2 schools, provide scholarships, and offer educational resources to empower individuals with knowledge and skills for a better future. Humanity First Nigeria continued its commitment to orphan care, providing support and care for orphaned children through various initiatives aimed at ensuring their well-being and holistic development. Humanity First Nigeria engaged in extensive media outreach efforts, leveraging various social media channels to raise awareness, disseminate information, and mobilize support for its humanitarian activities. Ensuring access to clean water remained a priority with the Water for Life program. As Humanity First Nigeria implemented water supply projects and promoted hygiene education to improve public health and sanitation. Empowering individuals with vocational training and economic opportunities, Humanity First Nigeria conducted empowerment programs to enhance livelihoods and promote self-reliance among beneficiaries. Responding to emergencies and humanitarian crises, Humanity First Nigeria provided disaster relief assistance and implemented programs to support affected communities, offering shelter, aid, and support in times of need.
Humanity First Nigeria, with collaboration of our partners, Humanity First International, we are presenting to you 20 mattresses, 8 kegs of 20 liters vegetable oil, of 50 kg rice, 42 cartons of Indomie, 100 tubers of yam, and clothes from our Humanity First Clothes Bank, supported with 100,000 naira. Gave food, but you can't stop there. You have to do something more that will help in making those who were affected with the flood to be stable.
Business you do, and it survived the first 3 years. You started that quickly. That business is sustainable.
As she was talking about SME management, I learned how to manage it and how to innovate my business.
Plan for contingency in our business, how to manage the home and the business so that the business will not run down.
Disaster happens, people lose a lot of things, and they also have some time before they can pick up their economic life again. So this program is meant to provide support, to provide training for some of the people that have been affected, to see how they can learn additional skills to augment what they have been doing so far.
And then here I see Christians and see Muslims all mixed up, all schooling together, acquiring the same skills. That is to tell us that if we are not so myopic in our thinking, and by the time we progress like that, more and more families are going out of poverty line.
These initiatives underscore Humanity First Nigeria's dedication to serving humanity and making a positive impact on the lives of those in need across Nigeria, particularly in ensuring food security. Through collaborative efforts and strategic programs, the organization continues to uphold its missions of compassion, integrity, and service to others.
Is to serve all of mankind. We must be the Messiah of the afflicted, and let our good works be our signs.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
In the Gambia in West Africa, over many years we have been helping farming communities. Initially we were looking at crop storage and the Desert Fridge project that we started, and then we looked at crop processing. And now we're also supporting entire farming communities with seeds, tools, fertilizer, irrigation, fencing. You're going to see some of that in the next clip, and how the projects that we're doing are helping groups of farming villages in unison.
In the central and upper river regions of the Gambia, daily life is more basic than in cities such as Banjul. For most of them, their livelihood is in manual labor and agriculture, but they often lack the funds to invest for themselves. They also lack local access to water, meaning time wasted fetching unclean water. Our team has been working with clusters of villages. We have been drilling and installing solar water boreholes which each can serve 3 or 4 surrounding villages. Then we have helped them fence off some land as a village garden and provided irrigation, tools, seeds and fertilizer to enable them to cultivate the land for themselves and grow a variety of fruit and vegetables. Mainly it is the women who do the cultivation and harvest enough to feed their families and sometimes to sell the surplus to generate an income.
In many parts of Africa, girls have to drop out of education as soon as their monthly courses start, and this is a major problem. So Humanity First has been tackling that with a period poverty program that our ladies team have been piloting in Kenya, and it's generated a lot of interest, and we're now looking to roll it out in other countries, even neighbouring countries like Tanzania and Uganda. So let's go to our ladies team to see what they've been doing in Kenya and how it's making a big impact on girls in schools.
In many parts of the world, girls and women face significant barriers to education surrounding women's health. Lack of access to basic healthcare and sanitation facilities, as well as cultural taboos surrounding menstruation, prevents many girls from attending school and reaching their full potential. But there is hope. The Humanity First Sisters Around the Globe project is changing lives and transforming communities by empowering girls and women through education and health initiatives. Through partnerships with international Humanity First volunteers and medical professionals, the project provides resources and support for girls' education, as well as sanitary and hygiene products. The impact of this work is truly remarkable, as we see girls and women gaining access to education, developing new skills, and becoming leaders in their communities. Join us in supporting the Humanity First Sisters Around the Globe project and help us empower girls and women around the world to reach their full potential.
In 2005, Humanity First launched its senior secondary school, Masrura Senior Secondary School in Old Yundum in the Gambia. Initially, it was for 300 or 400 students, but demand was growing, and we now have over 1,200 students, and we've been investing in the assembly hall, science block, library, and so on. So the next video will show you the progress that we've made in the school and the outcomes that we're generating for students there.
In 2005, almost 20 years ago, Humanity First was allocated a large piece of land in Old Yundum in the Gambia. Humanity First built a secondary school with a single block of 3 classrooms to serve 300 or 400 pupils. With our principal Ibrahim Abayo at the helm, gradually the results began to impress, and demand for the school grew, so students attended in 2 shifts to make optimal use of the facilities. Over time, a second block was built. After a decade, we had an excellent library, IT lab, and science lab. There were grounds at the back for sports, but still the school needed investment. Our students struggled in the heat and had to make do with small rooms for examinations, so a few years ago, we invested in the new assembly hall. This is a standout facility that can accommodate 2,000 people. From the stage, students organize extracurricular clubs and activities such as the debating society and poetry sessions. This year, we are continuing to invest. We now have solar power for the fans and lights. We are investing in new chairs for the assembly hall, which are on their way from the USA. We are renovating the IT and science labs and investing in new computers and experimental science equipment. But the real stars are the dedicated teachers, many of whom were once students at Masrur School, and our enthusiastic students. Many of them are going on to careers in government and industry, and we are always delighted to see them back when they visit their old school.
My name is Awajan, a grade 11 student studying commerce as a field. This is Masro Senior Secondary School. See, these are our environments, and right now we are having two shifts. The morning shift just closed, but the afternoon shift are attending their classes. Masro Senior Secondary School is a school that is known for its excellence because you can realize that since we come to this school, our academic doesn't change. I would like to thank all the donors that make this happen because you guys were really a supporting hand to us because we cannot make this alone. But to your support, we have reached to this position. I would like to thank everybody. Feel like science, art, commerce. You cannot be a good leader in the future when you don't allow your girl child to be educated. We say that if you educate a child, you educate a nation. Impact my life because before I wasn't a leader, and as you can see, since I come to Masru School, a lot of things inspire me. So then I have to apply for counselor. The time I apply for counselor, then I see that my life is becoming changing. I have become responsible, and also this right now I am the head girl, and which really impressed me. I would like to thank everybody. Thank to Humanity First, and I would like to thank all the donors. Jazakumullahu khairan. Thank you all.
My name is Segu Kamara, a student from 11 Commerce 1, and I am the head boy of Masru Senior Secondary School. We are here in Masru Senior Secondary School. This is a school that is known for academic excellence. As you can see, I have just started school in here just last year, but since then I have improved massively. This school has done a massive impact on my life. As you can see, the first time I walked into this school, I was not a very good speaker of English. But as you can see, as time goes on now, I can fluently speak English with the help of the teachers that are in this school here. I would say they have done an incredible impact on my life, not me alone, but I would say on my family, because the person who actually influenced me to actually choose Masru as my senior secondary school is my brother. And that brother actually have graduated in this school here by the name Abdusalam Kamara from 2013 to 2016. From then on, he went to the Gambia College where he graduated, where he has the highest teacher's certificate. And from then on, he went to the University of the Gambia. Then on, he traveled to the United States. So this actually have done an incredible impact on my life personally and the life of my family. Masru Senior Secondary School actually have been an academic excellence. There are people who graduated here right now are studying in the University of United States of America. If you go to the Gambia College right now, you'll find so many Masru students there. So this tells you that this school actually is impacting so many lives in the Gambia from the grassroots up to the up level. And finally, we will conclude by thanking Humanity First, without whom I would not be standing here to talk to you guys today, because these are actually the people who has built this school of this kind. This is the school that actually contributed to the upbringing of my life, because without this school, I don't think I will be standing here today to talk to you guys. So we will thank them for whatever they have done for this school, and we believe we would have so many things and so many donations from these people, because this is some of the things that contribute to the livelihood of people. Because without school, there will be no education, and without education, there will be no more economic development. So we thank you people, and we are hoping so many things from you guys. Hopefully we would have so many schools which will be built by you in the country. And we thank you very much. Jazakumullah.
The mental health crisis facing the world is having many impacts, one of which is a growing homeless population. And there are over 100 million people who are now homeless in many parts of the world, in big cities in Europe, in Australasia, in North America. Humanity First is responding with bedding, clothing, food, water, and other help to give these people some hope for the future. So the next segment is talking about our approach to homelessness.
Humanity First. mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
Conditions around the world have been getting harder over the last 2 decades. It is estimated that 150 million people are homeless around the world, and 1.6 billion lack proper housing. There are various causes of homelessness, including mental health issues, family breakdown, and creeping poverty. Most of these people do not choose to be on the streets and are much more vulnerable to exploitation and victimization. During cold weather, in cities across the globe, homeless people are seen clutching to meager blankets and cardboard to survive the harsh conditions. Our teams across the world have been helping homeless people with emergency food, water, hygiene kits, clothing, and blankets. Our teams are regularly on the streets of cities across the world, from Paris to Delhi to Sydney to New Jersey. In France, we built partnerships with retailers and restaurants to provide good quality donated food and meals in Paris and Strasbourg. We have done the same in Gothenburg in Sweden. Every winter, we provide hot meals across Canada in Toronto and Calgary. Through the COVID pandemic, this grew to other countries such as Germany, Austria, Georgia, the UK, Belgium, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and others. Every weekend, we distribute food rations in Auckland in New Zealand. Most importantly, we serve with humility and a smile to show solidarity and empathy, and to offer hope for the homeless people. Where we can direct them to other services and training to give them a route out of poverty and homelessness.
Healthy food is a fundamental necessity for human survival. Poverty, conflicts, and natural disasters contribute significantly to food insecurity worldwide. Humanity First is actively addressing this challenge through its food security programs, reaching out to those in need across the globe. Join us on Humanity First Day, May 11, 2024, for our international telethon dedicated to raising vital funds for our global food security projects. Visit humanityfirst.org to engage directly with our teams worldwide or to make a donation. Your donation, no matter how small, can make a profound impact on someone's life. Your generous donations can make a difference in providing food for those who need it most. Please donate generously.
So you've been watching the various activities through the telethon, and please continue to follow us on social media. Our international handle is HFI1995, but also follow your local branches. Please donate to your local branch or to Humanity First International if you are not aligned to one of the main branches. Our website is www.humanityfirst.org. If you can donate through a local branch, then you can either do a one-off donation today, or you can make a pledge for what you could donate over the next 3 to 6 months, or better still, you could commit to doing a recurring donation like a standing order, and every month you could donate $5, $10, whatever is acceptable.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
Our Ghana team have been active for many years. They've been responding to local and regional disasters, but they've also been working on longer term projects. We now have 3 schools in the country. We're doing farming projects. we're doing water projects and many other interventions. Let's go over to Ibrahim Asante in our Wahab Adam studios in Accra to find out what the Ghana team have been active on.
Serving Africa, serving Africa, serving Africa.
Welcome, viewers, to the 2024 Humanity First Telethon Appeal and Awareness segment on food security, coming to you from the MTA Wahab Adam Studios here in Ghana. With me today to help answer a few questions is Ibrahim Kwame Asante, the Director of Marketing, Humanity First Ghana. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me on your program.
You're warmly welcome. To begin with, what is Humanity First hoping to achieve?
Humanity First is a global charitable organization in over 50 different countries around the world. Simply serving mankind through our various projects and programs, including the gift of sight, helping people have good quality eyesight, food security, knowledge for life, and a host of other programs, disaster relief, that we embark on in order to help give quality of life to humanity so that we can live a better life and worship our God the way we are supposed to. So it is for serving humanity, bringing people out of poverty, out of abject poverty, deprivation, hunger, and misery.
All right. Your focus this year is on food security. How does the global data look like?
In fact, the global data is very horrible, if I should put it in a milder way. If we look at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 2, which is focused on zero hunger, it hopes to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. But what do we see? 783 million people around the world are facing chronic hunger every day. 783 million people around the world. And 70% of the world's hungry people are in conflict zones like in Gaza, in Ukraine, and other conflict areas. And many countries are facing famine and drought, including countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Kenya, Mozambique, Southern Sudan, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, which is of interest in Africa. And hunger is impacted by climate change, conflict, economic shocks, and even health pandemics are all sources of hunger. So if we look at the global data, it is very looking gloom and doom. Emergencies such as natural disasters also compound the misery. For example, the earthquakes that happen in Morocco and Turkey are all very serious issues. And food prices, I must say, are at a 10-year high, fueled by very high cost of fertilizer and natural gas. And production and availability of wheat, maize, rice, and soya bean, the staple foods used almost everywhere to prepare bread and other foods which are common, are all at a very, very, very high price. The highest in the last 10 years, I should say. So the global figures are not looking too good.
All right. Due to time, I'd like to ask one last question. What is Humanity First doing in Ghana about food security?
Before I even zero down to what we are doing here in Ghana, I would say Humanity First around the globe. In Europe, North America, and Africa have what we call the food banks and pantries, where we serve weekly food ration packs, soups from the kitchen, hot meals are served to needy people, deprived people. We focus on the vulnerable families and homeless people and refugees. And if you look at Europe, in Athens, Greece, Gothenburg in Sweden, Mayfield in the United Kingdom, Georgia, Tbilisi, and Warsaw in the UK. You look at North America, we have Atlanta, SA, Mexico City in Mexico, Santiago de Querétaro in Mexico, and Toronto in Canada. You look at Africa, we have Cape Town, South Africa. And with food security, there are several farming projects, some of which are in Ghana that I will touch on. Gambia, for example, is supporting farming communities in the Central River region with irrigation, seeds, tools, fertilizer, and fencing to grow a range of crops. If you look at Palestine, established a number of rooftop hydroponics garden. We look at Ghana, we've established shea butter farm and factory to provide jobs, especially for women, the needy women, to generate income for themselves. If you look at the shea butter project, because of the machinery, the mechanization, it has improved the quality and quantity of shea butter products that we have that are taken to the market, that are sold at a premium for the deprived, vulnerable women to be able to earn money to be sustainable. And we also give money for women to go and pick the shea nuts. That is capitalizing the women, and that helps them not to be vulnerable in terms of price vulnerability, people giving any price they want. They now have the capital from Humanity First. They go and pick it, they process it at our factory, and they are sure of reliable market because they have added value and they get a good price. We started with 15, we now have 15 employees and also have about 50 plus women who are doing the picking of the shea butter project. We also have a project in the northeast, Yendi of Ghana, in the north, Yendi, and then Wali Wali, dealing with maize and soya production. It started about 3 years ago. Now it has been able to support about 200 women in those deprived areas. We started with 50 women, and this is making them self-sufficient. This is empowering them. This is lifting them out of poverty, especially the women. And as Agri said, if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. And if you educate a man, you educate an individual. And the statistics globally is that we have helped about 5.1 million people from 1995 to 2023, last year, globally, Humanity First. And also a total of 1,084,385 people have been helped. Every year when we have the Eid for Muslims, we in Humanity First, the Muslims sacrifice or donate so that the needy who may not throughout the year even have access to good quality animal protein to eat are able to get some protein to eat. So in a nutshell, Humanity First Ghana has been embarking on several projects, but this year our focus is on food security, and not only food security, but looking at food safety, how safe and wholesome the foods are, and then food sovereignty for Ghana. And Humanity First International is looking at this for the world. It is a small part that we are playing, but we are playing our part, and we hope that viewers will also support this 2024 telethon by donating for us to be able to carry on these projects. And most importantly, every donation that is made, 99% goes directly to the beneficiary. Those of us working in humanity are mostly volunteers, so we don't receive any salaries. We sometimes even go out of our way, travel on our own budgets, so that whatever donation that you give goes directly to the people who need it, the needy, the deprived, the poor, so that we can lift them up and put a smile on their face.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly donate to the number on the screen. 059 143 7454. The merchant ID is 147244. May the Lord bless you.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
So you've just been watching the efforts to take water to displaced families in Gaza, families who've suffered for months and been moved from one location to another. And thankfully, we're able to take water tankers in and make a difference to people in temporary accommodation. Now let's turn our attention to the Kurbani campaign. So every day and every evening, around 800 million people around the world are going to bed hungry. Children are being put to sleep before they've had a chance to have a meal. Many rural communities subsist on basic food items, vegetables and basic staples. They rarely get to eat meat or more advanced food. So at the time of Eid al-Azha, in the middle of next month, in the middle of June, Humanity First will be making sacrifices in over 60 countries, across South America, across Europe, across Africa, across the Middle East, in Asia, and even in Australasia and some of the Pacific islands. And this will provide meat packs to rural and low-income families across the world who would not normally expect to have access to meat. If we look at last year, we were able to reach 829,089 people, and that was in 2,075 rural villages, not the big cities, but rural villages across 64 countries. Now you can donate towards a whole goat. You can donate an entire cow. Or as per tradition, you can share and donate 1/7 of a cow. For each branch, they will tell you what the pricing is at the moment. But we do need to purchase the livestock towards the end of this month, towards the end of May, because as we get closer to Eid, the prices will escalate. So please, if I could request you to make your donation through your local Humanity First branch as soon as you can, to allow us to get the maximum number of animals and to reach the maximum number of people in the middle of next month.
Humanity first, serving mankind. Humanity first, we live to serve.
Humanity First has attained a good name, whereby many external organizations recognize that Humanity First is achieving much more from a far smaller budget in comparison to much bigger charities or NGOs, due to its volunteer force and the spirit with which its members serve. Certainly, I am pleased that the workers and volunteers of Humanity First throughout the world are serving with great zeal and determination and a true spirit of service and devotion. It is my prayer that this spirit never diminishes, but only ever increases. I also wish to reiterate that you must never entertain even a trace of arrogance in your hearts to think that you have done great work or that you have done a favor to those who benefit from the various Humanity First projects. Rather, at all times, absolute humility and gratitude to Allah the Almighty should course through your wanes. Focus always and forever on attaining the pleasure of God Almighty. And keep in mind that serving others is our religious obligation, and that without fulfilling the rights of mankind, we cannot fulfill the rights of God Almighty. At the end, I also wish to offer my heartfelt congratulations and thanks to the volunteers and team members of Humanity First, because during its first quarter century, they have served in an exemplary way with great sincerity and loyalty to the cause of serving humanity. The passion of its volunteers has enabled Humanity First to live up to its name and to become a well-established and renowned charity and disaster relief agency. Alhamdulillah, each year the scope of work of Humanity First has continued to expand, and I pray that this always remains the case. May its members and volunteers be those who stand ever ready to wipe away the tears of those who are in distress or hurting in any way. May you always be ready to help those blameless souls who are the victims of their circumstances to overcome their grief, desperation, and heartache. May you always stand up for the rights of the weak, deprived, and vulnerable. May Allah enable all of you to play your role in serving the cause of humanity and helping those tormented by abject poverty and deprivation to stand upon their own 2 feet. May Allah the Almighty bless the efforts of Humanity First, and may it never take a backward step. Rather, I pray it always marches forward in its efforts to humanity. Ameen. Jazakallah.
Healthy food is a fundamental necessity for human survival. Poverty, conflicts, and natural disasters contribute significantly to food insecurity worldwide. Humanity First is actively addressing this challenge through its food security programs, reaching out to those in need across the globe. Join us on Humanity First Day, May 11, 2024, for our international telethon dedicated to raising vital funds for our global food security projects. Visit humanityfirst.org to engage directly with our teams worldwide or to make a donation. Your donation, no matter how small, can make a profound impact on someone's life. Your generous donations can make a difference in providing food for those who need it most. Please donate generously.
Some funds were raised entirely for the sake of helping the suffering humanity. I decided to spend out that money on the poor people, and that is exactly what we are doing. Not only in one country, but in Ghana, in Nigeria, where are the people suffering. Moreover, we had means of helping people with human sacrifice, which coupled with the meager financial resources makes a sizable contribution. But without that human sacrifice, that small contribution financially would not mean anything. Now, our experience tells us that if we spend money ourselves for a good cause, the result is 10 times more satisfactory.
फिक्र खुद से फिक्र दुनिया के लिए आजाद हैं शाद करते हैं ज़माने भर को खुद नाशाद हैं.
Serve God's creation and show love towards them. This requires true selflessness and love for others. It requires that a person does not rest until he has solved the problems of others. and takes the weight of their burdens onto his own shoulders. It requires that a person's heart is consumed by a love for others, whereby he cares not for his own comfort, but rather he cares only for the comfort of others. It requires that a person is ever ready to personally absorb all forms of distress for the sake of others, to consider the pain of others as though it is his own pain. It requires that a person is ready to bear personal suffering or anxiety so that others can live in peace and contentment.
तेरे बंदे ऐ खुदा सच है कि कुछ ऐसे भी हैं.
Of orphans around the world. And Humanity First for many years has been supporting orphans after disasters like the Boxing Day tsunami in Indonesia and other events. But more recently, we've been building and running our own orphanages, and we've now built 3 orphanages. You'll hear a bit more about that now and how we try and help the orphans nearer their host environment rather than taking them to a different country. So now on to orphan care.
Saya berada di depan LKSA Hasanah Kausar Humanity First Indonesia yang berada di Kawalu, Tasikmalaya, Provinsi Jawa Barat, Indonesia. Nah, bangunan ini telah berhasil direnovasi oleh HF Indonesia dengan bantuan HF Internasional. Saat ini, LKSA Hasanah Kausar mengasuh 5 anak. Namun, bangunan ini memiliki kapasitas untuk menampung 40 anak. Fasilitas yang dimiliki LKSA antara lain kamar tidur, dapur, kamar mandi, ruang serbaguna, ruang belajar, kantor, dan tempat olahraga. Selain menjadi tempat tinggal, anak-anak juga diberikan kesempatan untuk memperoleh pengetahuan dan keterampilan melalui program-program yang dijalankan. Salah satunya adalah program kakak asuh yang mana kami mengundang relawan untuk mengajar berbagai mata pelajaran. Selain itu, kami juga memiliki program skill building di mana anak-anak diajarkan keterampilan tambahan seperti bahasa Inggris dan yang lainnya.
So if you're still with us and you've been with us for the last couple of hours, thank you. Thank you for participating through our Humanity First Day. You will have seen how our emergency response teams and our longer-term development projects are making such a difference to vulnerable communities around the world. Vulnerable communities who already were struggling after the COVID pandemic 4 years ago and are now suffering through the various conflicts around the globe and are also suffering from the impact of climate change. You know, there are some areas where they've had extreme drought, and then suddenly, due to El Nino, the drought has been replaced by flooding, and all the work they'd done to replant their crops has all disappeared. So the work that our volunteers have been doing around the world that you've seen today, helping people facing conflict, floods, droughts, earthquakes. We're supporting homeless people on the streets of many of the major cities around Europe and North America and Australasia. We're supporting vulnerable orphans. We're supporting villagers who otherwise were struggling without access to clean drinking water. We're helping farmers to move from subsistence farming to more industrial farming, and with the income they can generate, they can invest in their own projects in their villages to help themselves. We're investing in low-income families who struggle to access healthcare. So we're there today, tomorrow, and God willing for years to come, to wipe away the tears of those who are facing persecution and poverty, and to provide them with hope for a better future. With your generous support, We've been able to help almost 15 million people since we launched Humanity First in 1995. That's in the first 28 years. I'm not including the work in the last 4 or 5 months this year. We hope you've enjoyed the journey around the globe, seeing our various projects and our teams on the ground. If you feel inspired, please come forward to volunteer your time and your services. Please donate to the cause. Please become our advocates. Spread the word about Humanity First to your friends, to your work colleagues, to your neighbours, to your family members, and become an active part of Humanity First Day. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.